Hi, welcome to No Facts Needed. And today we're going to be talking about NFL contracts that aren't going to last and the players that are either going to get traded or cut. Okay, on this segment, we're going to be talking about that.
Players we hate.
Or players that just
Straight
won't last.
up.
Players that won't last their contract.
Fine. I'll get my other list.
All right, let's talk about the first guy. The first guy, Ryan Tannehill.
This is pretty easy.
Yeah, just signed a huge contract. I think everybody who talks about this contract, unless you're a white supremacist, which there are a couple of those,
What?
they think this contract is bad. You want to know why? Because he rode Derrick Henry to the playoffs. Okay?
Yeah.
Nobody can
we
argue
talked
that.
about it before.
Unless you just hate
12 pass attempts per game in the playoffs.
Unless you hate Derrick Henry, you agree with that statement. That he just rode Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry is one that didn't get paid. You know?
I will give Tannehill his props for having a good year.
Yeah.
You know, he finally,
Good contract year.
got some, pep in his step, I guess.
Yeah.
Got some motivation behind him as a backup and came in and took advantage.
Yeah.
But he's just, even when he was at his best, he wasn't.
I really think this is the classic go to the worst. You're at the worst team with the Miami Dolphins, and then you go to the Titans that have a good O-line, good run game, and wide receivers that are can run, I guess. I wouldn't say they're that good, but, you know.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
They made it pretty easy on him. He just had to, basically roll out and throw it to Derrick Henry.
So, you want to talk about his contract right now?
Yeah, I've got it right here. 4 years, 118.
118. That's a lot of money right there.
It is. It's a lot. I just, like I said, I don't even hate Tannehill. I just can't see a world where in 4 years he's the Tennessee Titans starting quarterback. Well, it happens every year. Nick Foles.
Yeah, okay.
Nick Foles got paid last year. Everybody was like, okay, see how that works for you, Jags.
Yeah.
Guess what? He gone.
I think everybody then was... I mean, I think you're right. This is like the exact same deal. Everybody's like, this isn't going to last, but I guess he got... I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it.
Yeah. It's funny because some teams are so willing to give up on a quarterback. Like the Cardinals were saw 6 games of Josh Rosen and hated him.
Yeah.
And some teams will do anything they can to not just draft a rookie.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those, you know?
Okay. What's your prediction for how long he'll last on this contract?
2 years, I guess.
Okay. I was going to say 2 to 3. I think the next 2 years he's going to be all right, but they're going to be like, dang, we're paying a lot of money for this guy. And then the third year they're going to be like, we got to get rid of this dude.
See, I kind of feel like he might make go to 2 year not next year, but the year after that. He's just one injury away from being Alex Smith, basically.
Yeah, I forgot about his injury concerns because he got injured a lot with Miami.
The Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't exactly have the best group of blockers in front of him.
The Titans?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
They actually had a really horrible sack rate last year.
I forgot that they lost their right tackle, too.
Jack Conklin.
Yeah, they lost him. He was pretty good, and they lost him.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'm with you now.
I mean, they don't pass a lot.
Yeah.
But when they did, they were... I think they were 29th or something in terms of they gave up a lot of sacks, basically.
Yeah. I think what he'll do for the next 2 years is exactly what he did with the Dolphins. He was good enough to keep around for a while, and then you realize he's not a franchise guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Next guy, Big Ben. I think this is more of me than you. I kind of thought about this.
Yeah. I wasn't really I was more so thinking of players who are going to be cut soon.
Yeah.
Rather than Big Ben, who's probably straight up just going to retire soon.
Well, even if he doesn't retire this year, next year, his cap number is $41 million. The cap percentage of the team is 20%. Spending 20% of your cap money on one guy is ridiculous.
Especially when he
is old, gets
he's
hurt
Derrick
a lot.
Rose out there.
Yeah. I mean, I personally like Big Ben, but I don't think he's the same Big Ben from 4 years ago when he had AB.
The thing is, he's getting older and he's been hurt, but people kind of forget that even when they were making the playoffs a couple years ago, he was not particularly good on the road or in the playoffs.
Well, they had Le'Veon,
and
a
AB.
Great O-line,
Yeah.
AB.
I'm not saying he was bad.
No, I'm with you. I agree with you. He wasn't as good as people remember him as.
It's kind of like Phillip Rivers' disease a little bit, where you remember how good he was, and you see, oh, he's coming back, he's in a new situation, you kind of forget that he wasn't exactly his old self before he, you know. So that's all I'll say about that.
Next guy, Robert Quinn.
Puerto Rican Bobby. Shout out to him at least.
He killed it with the Cowboys
He
last
absolutely,
year.
like, he got traded for a 6th-round pick, turned that into $70 million.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Yeah, this is, as soon as I saw this deal, I was like, oh my God, they really signed him to that.
Yeah, I remember at first I was like, that's good. He killed it last year. And then I kind of thought about it. He's 30 years old.
I can't fathom
he's going to be
Jadeveon Clowney is a free agent.
Yeah.
And he got that.
Well, he's going to be 35 by the end of this contract. Mm-hmm. He's 30, right?
No,
30
he'll probably
now.
be like 32 by the end of this contract.
Okay, yeah. But what they signed him to, a 5-year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long contract for a pass rusher that's 30 years old. He did have a good year last year, but he also had a good defense around him.
He was playing opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence.
Everybody around Robert Quinn was able to elevate Robert Quinn's game, and that's where they're getting their money from.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be fair, him paired with Khalil Mack is probably going to work.
Yeah.
Just because he's, as a number 2, obviously he's good, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just, I mean, now more than ever we see these guys, especially pass rushers, kind of start to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like Justin Houston.
So what do you think? How do you think this contract's going to play out? How long do you think it lasts for him?
I'll say 2 again. I feel like that's pretty easy.
Yeah. I was going to say,
if that,
2 years, he's going to be all right. He's going to get some sacks. And then they're going to kind of forget about him. Like, the second year, they're going to be like, whatever. And then third year, they're going to realize how much they're paying him. And they're going to be like, oh, frick. We got to pay Mitchell Trubisky because he's going to be a superstar. Psych. They're going to, remember, frick, we're paying him $14 million.
Yeah, assuming they're going to have to spend their money somewhere in the next couple of years, I think they're going to realize they can't afford to pay him what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they just suck. And they just like, sure, we'll still pay you. Cause
yeah. So, our next guy, not really his fault, but he's on the list. Le'Veon Bell. Poor guy.
I think this is more so just because
Adam Gase hates him.
It seems like the Jets hate him.
Yeah.
Like ever since they signed him.
He's like, wow, we have this all-pro running back. Let's just not use him, you know? And then now everybody's like, Le'Veon Bell sucks. He was relying off the Steelers. When it's not that. They don't know how to use him, you know?
He definitely isn't as good as he was with the Steelers, but what did you expect when you take him from like a team that was stacked?
Yeah.
Put him on this team that sucks.
Mm-hmm. Give him a lot of money.
I mean, obviously he regressed. He's getting older, whatever. Yeah. But he's not the problem. Yeah. That's the thing.
My take on this is that I think he deserves his contract, but kind of like what we said, Gase doesn't like him and he's not giving him a fair shot to earn his money, you know? Mm-hmm. So then people kind of like turn the narrative on him and are like, we need to get rid of him. How long do you think he'll last?
Honestly, this might be his last year.
I was going to say this year is gone. I think he's going to get traded or they just cut him. I mean, I guess that's only
I don't know if somebody else is going to trade for that.
Our next guy, Cameron Brate.
Yeah, I was just looking at salaries. I could not believe this was a thing.
What is he doing there? They need to get rid of him or something.
Well, that's why I put him on there. I feel like it's just too easy at this point.
Yeah.
Because I think it's 6 years, like $40 million.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not the worst
deal. It's not a lot of money.
But also, I think they're second to the last of least cap space.
He's just going to probably be a cap casualty at some point.
Yeah.
So we don't really have to talk about that. It's kind of boring.
Well, I like him. I think he's good. But like you said, they don't really need to pay him. They don't need him. He probably won't play, and they're kind of paying him a lot to not do anything, you know? So how long do you think he lasts?
I don't know. Can I say less than 1 year?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, there we go.
I'd say less than 1 year, too.
Take that to the bank.
I think trade deadline, he's gone. I think he's one of those guys that you
might get cut before the season.
Really? I think he's one of those guys, like, trade deadline, you look at your phone, you see it, and you're like, oh, okay. And you go along without your day.
Him getting traded to, like, the
Jags or Browns.
Giants.
Bears. You probably...
Oh.
Bears or Browns. They have a ton of
You know
talents.
The Bears have... He's, like, number one on the target list.
Like, you know?
What?
They're, like, slobbering, you know?
Oh.
That's what I meant to get him.
Okay. Yeah.
Next guy, Jamie Collins.
Yeah, he got 3 years, $30 million.
Man, he's been all over the place.
I'm just saying because what's going to happen is he's not going to last. He gets either cut or traded, and then he ends up back on the Patriots.
Yeah. Well, because he went Patriots, Browns, then back to the Patriots.
Yeah, unless we're missing some other team on the way.
I think it went Patriots, Browns, Patriots, Lions, back to the Patriots.
Well, that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm predicting it, and I'm always right.
Probably get signed somewhere else for a lot of money again.
Yeah, remember when he was, like, really good?
Yeah, he used to be a stud.
And people were like, why did the Patriots trade him? Bill Belichick knows everything. Don't question the man.
Yeah, the thinking behind this, for me at least, is he's getting signed, right, because the Lions run the multiple defense just like the Patriots, and Matt Patricia is going to be fired soon. Who's next?
Preston Smith.
Oh, yeah, this is... I feel like this one's pretty obvious. He's not bad. He had a decent season last year. I just don't think they're going to want to pay him $16 million. And I'm not saying this is going to be very soon, but like I just don't think he's going to make it to the last year of his deal. Yeah. So it might be 3 years from now, but the Packers are just a team that's always going to have guys they need to pay, and I don't think he's going to be one of them for very long.
Next guy, Frank Clark.
Yeah.
These last couple of guys,
they're all edge rush. Well, these last two are.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say these last couple of guys are like, could happen, but not like guaranteed, you know.
Frank Clark, I would say just because of the sheer amount of money he's making.
Yeah, he had 8 sacks last year, I think, which is a good amount if you're...
He's a low-end number 1 pass rusher.
Yeah, but he's getting paid like the best pass rusher.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
And we've seen in the past the Chiefs are not afraid to cut you if they don't think you're good.
I think for him to earn this contract, he needs at least 10 sacks. At least 10 sacks. You know? Okay. For a while.
He had a really good playoffs, though.
Yeah.
But
so what? I mean, since he's a big guy, he's a bigger guy, better known. How long do you think this lasts?
2 more years.
How much longer does he have on this contract?
4.
4. I think he's
in the second year of his deal now.
Oh, I'm thinking like 3 more years.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, because he's gonna fall, like he's gonna slowly get worse and worse, but still be good enough to like not cut him.
Well, yeah. They're gonna have to keep paying Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Chris Jones, at least those 3. And I just don't see him. I mean, they're going to pay him $20 million and keep all those guys.
Yeah.
I think he's easily the first out of the 4.
Yeah. So this is probably the biggest name guy here, you know. A lot of people are going to be surprised, but not us, because we wrote it down on the list. Jared Goff. He had the best, like one of the best offenses in a while, like in a long time. And he's getting paid because they had a good O-line, great wide receivers, and Todd Gurley freaking killed it that year. It was kind of like Tannehill.
Well, it was really 2 years.
Yeah.
Because the first year they were a surprise team, made the playoffs. Second year they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I was fine when they gave him the extension, but still...
See, I kind of knew that, like, this isn't going to work out.
Well, I was going to say, you kind of still are kind of like...
Yeah.
It's not because... Like, I'd say they had to do it.
Yeah.
But... I just don't know if it's going to work out.
This is kind of iffy for me because he is a good player and he's an all-right player and he's going to get the job done. He's going to be good with the people around him right now.
Well, depending on who's around him, but yeah.
The problem with it, though, is that he's just getting paid so much money. Depending on Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, and I guess Lamar Jackson, like a couple years, depending on how big their contract is, if they go up to like $45 million, then they're going to look up to Jared Goff and be like, okay, this isn't that bad of a contract. But if they stay around that like $40 million, $39 million, you know, then they're probably going to look at getting rid of him.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the Rams' success because if like in the next 2 years, let's say, they're not a playoff team, I think he's out, probably.
Yeah. They'll probably want to rebuild or something. They can't start with him.
If they're not going to get the production, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
So, but if by some miracle they scrounge, like, I don't know, Sean McVay has his work cut out for him now.
Yeah.
Because he has to take this team that's a shell of itself from last year, which is a shell of itself from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To try to make it a playoff team, basically in order to save Jared Goff's career as a Ram. I'm not going to bet on it, is all I'll say.
So, what's your prediction on him?
I'll say he makes it 3 years.
3 years? I'll say 2. Next 2 guys. I'm going to kind of lump them in together because they're just home runs. They're too easy.
Mm-hmm.
I have Josh Rosen and then Alex Smith. You know?
Yeah, these are almost too easy.
I mean...
It's like picking... It's like, you know... It's like the gazelle with, like, missing one leg.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... I mean... I didn't want to make an Alex Smith joke about his leg.
I mean...
But, here we are.
Yeah. We can start with Alex Smith. He's getting paid a lot of money right now.
Yeah, 4 years, 94. I think this is going to go his 3rd year.
Yeah, for missing his leg right now. I mean...
he's, like, running and stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, all good to him. Like, he killed it. But they do have Dwayne Haskins.
On. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd just be surprised if they actually keep him around just to
Shout
be
out
nice.
to him for, like you said, fighting back and trying to play again one day.
It is actually incredible that he did that because at one point they wanted to cut it off.
Well, I mean, it's the Joe Theismann injury, right?
Yeah.
Like that almost
exact
ended
same
his
thing.
career. So
I don't even know if he will play football again.
No, but shout out to him, I guess.
Yeah. And then Josh Rosen, poor guy. Like,
not really.
You're at the point in your career where it's not even your fault anymore because you were so overhyped. You know?
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Like you shouldn't have been a first-round quarterback.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I never was big into Josh Rosen, so
I wasn't either. That's what I'm saying. Like, you were overhyped, and you really got screwed by the Cardinals. You know?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, you were bad.
Well, here's the thing. The easiest way for him to not be in the situation he is whether it's fair or not, just be better.
I was gonna say
like
that
if he's
too.
a better quarterback than Kyler Murray, they're not picking him.
Yeah,
they're not picking Kyler.
If he's better than
not.
Tua, they'd pick. They want to pick Tua, but they did.
Yeah.
Well, and they have Fitzmagic, who's gonna win the MVP.
You couldn't
right
even
now.
beat him out.
Yeah.
So
on
one hand, I agree he's been dealt a crap hand, and maybe there is honestly something left in the tank. Yeah. But at the same time, like
I kind of feel like they're gonna trade him by this trade deadline. At some point.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
That's my bet. If somebody does trade for him, because his contracts, he's getting paid more than Patty Mahomes. You know.
Well, it's a rookie deal, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about those two?
No.
Anything
not really. I mean, we didn't even mention Nick Foles. He's still in the same deal that he signed with the Jags.
I forgot about him.
If you want to count him, just throw him in there.
I kind of want to say Nick Foles is going to make his deal. He's going to last.
Think so?
Just because the Bears, they're not that smart. Now, the way I kind of see this season, not like predicting it, but I've kind of thought about this, is that he beats out Nick Foles, right?
Sure.
And he does good enough where people, it kind of like with the Eagles, like good enough where people are like, oh, this guy can actually like throw, like complete some passes, Because actually with the Jags, before he got hurt, he wasn't horrendous. He was all right. I mean, he wasn't great.
I mean, how many games did he actually play? He played the opener, got hurt.
I think he played 1 or 2.
Okay.
And then, Minshew, freaking big nuts.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, he just put his nuts on the table.
When Tom Brady comes around, sometimes you're just Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think Nick Foles might be good enough where their defense can keep them in games and he can just be a game manager,
The problem is I don't know if he can stay healthy.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're actually going to want to keep his contract.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's not the player, it's the contract.
And we also don't know, like, if he's going to start. Like, honestly, there's a possibility they just go with Trubisky just because they don't want to be wrong.
Thanks for watching this YouTube video. Like and subscribe. Comment if you don't agree with this or if you do agree with this. Listen to us on podcasts at No Facts Needed on iTunes or Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And see you guys next time.